Good morning, everyone. My name is Layne Coppock. I am the organizer for this virtual symposium entitled Introduction to the International Year for Rangelands and Pastoralists for 2026. My co-author is Jim O'Rourke, is listed here, but I will be making this presentation myself. First, let's deal with some housekeeping. There is a printed symposium schedule that was posted on February 11, and note that now there is an update to this schedule, and it can be found in the virtual program for the Society for Range Management. This update reveals that some of the talks have been shortened. There's been a slight rearrangement of speakers, and also, as I will describe, we have inserted some opportunities for panel discussion. So the symposium today is based on 12 pre-recorded talks. There are 4 talks in each of these 3 sections that you can see here: the genesis of the IYRP, global rangeland resources and pastoral dynamics, global rangeland policy and pastoral development. Each of these segments then is followed by a short panel discussion. Please make note of the times that these discussions will occur. Certainly you can have questions for the speakers in each section, or also use the time for a break as you wish. Also, there's going to be 2 workshops on February 23rd and 24th from 7 to 9 a.m. And the global stakeholders for the IYRP will be participating in these workshops, and essentially we're trying to translate some global issues into action plans around the world. We have almost 100 registrants for these workshops, and certainly if you have time and want to listen in, you're more than welcome. The symposium overview is as follows. We have a narrative of marginalization for the world's rangelands and the people who depend on them. We have poverty, we have stress on natural resources, and we are asking in this symposium if there's an opportunity to reverse this narrative going forward this century. Can we better harness the wealth of rangeland systems then to reverse this negative narrative? And can we do this in equitable ways? The genesis of the International Year for Rangeland and Pastoralists follows a long tradition of international years. There have been about 64 of these since 1959, covering a wide variety of topics. Our speakers in this segment include Bulgama from Mongolia, and she will talk about Mongolia as the lead nation in this initiative and update us on the approval process with the United Nations. Yilmaz will be speaking to the background of the process that actually began in 2008, so you can kind of get a feeling for the hoops that are involved to make the IYRP a global reality. And finally, Nirmir Fuller et al. Will be talking about 12 themes that are structured around the IYRP. They include everything from awareness raising for rangelands to sustainability issues, and how do we better serve women and youths in rangeland systems. So all these issues will be covered. For global rangeland resources, we have Ian Schoons. Some of you may know of Ian from his work on non-equilibrium systems years ago. He will be presenting conclusions from the recent report from the Institute of Development Studies in the UK concerning the assessment of livestock impacts both on climate and with respect to social justice. His main thesis in all this is that we have some distortions and unfortunate use of global data inappropriately for rangelands that needs to be reconsidered. Masumbuko will be speaking about the mapping of global resources, the advances and updates for that, and how can we better match development opportunity on rangelands with the geography of natural resources. Flintan is going to be speaking about the perils of poor governance in rangelands, the problems with common pool resources, and rangeland fragmentation. Certainly is relevant to North America as it is to Africa and beyond. And finally, Conant will be speaking about rangeland carbon budgets. As we know, rangelands occupy more than half of the global land area. What are the implications for carbon sequestration on rangelands for assisting global climate mitigation? The third and last segment is devoted more towards policy and development issues. Waters Beyer and Wario will speak to renewable energy challenges. Some of our largest solar projects in the world today are occurring on rangelands. What are the implications of renewable energy, and can such development be done equitably and with minimal impacts and maximal benefits? Layne will visit the ethics and development issues concerning the payments for rangeland ecosystem services. Another question is how can we administer rangeland ecosystem service payments if such processes become a reality. Norton et al. Will be speaking about how do we fund the large projects that are needed to make global impacts. How do we connect host countries with SRM professionals, for example? We need all hands on deck as we strive to create impact. And finally, Brisky will be speaking broadly about how do we overcome the marginalization narrative and better communicate success to the world. In our final discussion segment, we will attempt to synthesize some of the major points of what we've learned and describe a way forward. Essentially, this is a highly ambitious endeavor, but now is the time, as we've seen from all sorts of presentations so far at SRM in this meeting. It's time that we have to take a stand and make some progress. So before we go on, I would like to acknowledge our slate of speakers and co-authors, our terrific network of global stakeholders for the IYRP, and the support, the generous support provided by the Society for Range Management. Thank you very much.